during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Hi, welcome to Touched by Angel Live. I'm your host, Angel Kinseys. My passion is to inspire seniors, bring solutions to their everyday needs, and bring the generations together. Enjoy the show. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Touched by Angel Live. Every 2 weeks, we come to the studio and talk about different subjects. Tonight, my topic that we're going to talk about is COVID. We've been in COVID now for 2.5 years, exactly, almost to the day since the shutdown came. And, you know, a lot has happened, a lot of bad and a lot of good. So tonight, I want to focus on the positive. This really changed our world in a lot of ways for a lot of people, young and old. COVID hit everybody, children, seniors, every part of society, every part of the world, everyone has been affected. And I think overall, it's changing us in a good way because there's a lot of good things that have come out of it, health-wise, new innovation, new technology, new businesses. So we're just going to explore some of these things tonight. I've welcomed an audience here. I have some of my friends here, some of my students from my class. You all know I do Zoom. I teach Strength and Balance and Zumba Gold. And I have some of my students here tonight and some friends, and we're just going to make it an open discussion tonight. So what I want to talk about is during the lockdown, there was a lot of changes. I mean, we were all in our homes. We couldn't leave. We couldn't go to the grocery, couldn't go to the restaurant, couldn't see people. Everything changed. I think we thought it was going to be over a lot sooner, but it just seemed like it just kept going on and on and on. And we had to come up with new things to think about what to do. We couldn't even go out to go food shopping. We had to have food delivered. So all of a sudden, everything changed to deliveries. Those companies that, you know, delivered products started to grow because people couldn't get out. So I want to talk a little bit about how the lockdown affected you. I want you to think about it. Those of you that are on radio, those of you that are streaming live, just think about how the lockdown affected you because, you know, 2.5 years, we were in lockdown maybe about a year and a half that it was really locked down. And the kids didn't go to school. We couldn't go to work. We really had to make a lot of changes. And mentally, it really affected a lot of people. There was a lot of alcoholism, a lot of suicide, a lot of depression, a lot of negative at that point. But I think it drew people to come together as a family and really be innovative and try to figure out how do we deal with this situation. And then I want to talk about actually how it changed you, because I think it's changed everyone. And then the last thing is I want to know what have you taken away from it that is positive for you. Okay, I know there's some people that still feel a lot of negative. There's a lot of people that, because of the 2.5 year lockdown, mentally and physically it affected them, especially a lot of seniors. I think it affected the children mentally because of school and everything, and socialization and their sports, you know, not doing sports. But I think physically, it really affected the senior community because they weren't getting out. So in a way, my Zoom classes really were a blessing to the point that, you know, 6 classes a week, I have a studio that I teach, and it was really a blessing for my students to be able to learn computers. They had to learn computers. That's another thing that happened. We were forced to work the computer. If you didn't have a computer, you had to get a laptop and you had to learn how to do it. And I'm still learning. So I want to open this up to my audience, and just if you have a question that you want to call the studio, you could call 888-994-4995 if you want to call in and ask a question or just add to it. I'd like to really keep it positive because a lot of good has come from us being through this experience together, not only as a community, but as a world. Everybody in the world has been affected by this. So I want to welcome all my friends. We have from left to right, we have Mike and Jackie and Sherry and Rebecca and Jean and Ugo. So welcome. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for being a part of the show. So I'm going to open up with Sherry. And because I see in my own way of knowing her for quite a few years and her being in my class, I know that Sherry's made I've seen a tremendous growth in her, not only her physical demeanor, but her personality. It really, she had COVID as I did. And we were both very, very sick. I was sick for 2 months. She was sick for 3 months. I mean, she almost died. I think I almost died too. But it really took a toll on her during that time. So Sherry, if you could just say something.
Well, I'd like to say that the positives for me, one thing I will say, I saved a lot of money. It was great. I mean, I realized at first, of course, it was you're scared, you're anxious, you're depressed, you're lonely, you don't know what's happening next. And then all of a sudden I started realizing I have lots to do in my home. And I can FaceTime. All my friends were FaceTime. I found out when I did have COVID, finally after the lockdown, I started venturing out and I ended up with it. And I found out who my friends were, and I'll tell you, I have a lot of wonderful people in my life, and I really thank God for that. I really do. During COVID, I was FaceTiming with my friends. I was exercising more. I ate better than I ever did in my life. Ate more healthy. I put on weight since then because I did the opposite. A lot of people were gaining weight. I lost weight, and I was eating many more fruits and vegetables, things I never even. I was eating kiwi fruit. I never bothered with kiwi before. Just a lot of different things like that. And I don't know, just the conversations on the phone all the time. And so those were positives for me.
I know for myself, it brought me a lot closer to a lot more people, just being in contact on the phone, calling people that, when I was so busy, I just never had time to call people and just say, hi, how are you? So it really brought me to the point that I was able to be at home and just connect with people. Like Sherry said, I did artwork, I painted the house. I think everybody did that. I mean, how many people did work in their house, right? You had things done.
A little bit.
Go ahead, if you have something to add to it.
No, just the exercising and even you could go out for a walk. I was walking more just one thing, when I did have the COVID, I had more phone calls and more people dropping off food. They couldn't come into the home, so I was there alone, and I had packages all the time outside my front door, and constantly people calling me, and that, to me, that was the most wonderful thing. And doing things around the house, doing artwork, reading more. I read, and movies, so many movies on the TV. So, and not the news. I had to stop watching the news. So I really never knew what was going on unless someone called me and said, did you hear this? Oh, no. And I don't want to. But,
Yeah,
those
it
were
felt
the
like we were in a
positives.
bubble, right?
Right, and yeah, absolutely.
So, anybody else? Mike, I know Mike has something to say. I'll tell you one thing, during the lockdown, there was a lot of positive things that came about. We had less air pollution. nature flourished. I saw birds in my backyard that I never saw before. I had ducks in the backyard. I hadn't seen them in years. The oceans became so much cleaner. I remember walking to the beach and seeing how clean everything was. And do you know that they said now that things are getting back to normal, that we're almost back to the way it was before COVID? That's sad, because it really changed and got a lot better, but now it's going just like it was before. So people haven't learned, right? I don't get it. Michael?
Yes, I'm a school bus driver, and I saw the transition from having to wear the masks and everybody. And prior to COVID, it was common. Kids would get on the bus and they were coughing and sneezing and things like that sort of thing. And now nobody coughs. You never hear a sneeze or a sniffle or anything. People are so much more health conscious than they ever have been before. And the schools, the way that they have taken care of the programs and got treatment for the kids and everything like that. But it made me a lot more health conscious and aware of what was actually available, and mostly made me aware of myself, that it was my responsibility. A lot of things I was just taking for granted, and I didn't realize how codependent I was on other people and my surrounding areas. And when they finally lifted the lockdown, it was like getting out of a box, and I just embraced it, and I try to go as much as I can to do things that I didn't do before, where I would just sit in the house and not go places. And now I look forward to getting out and doing things. So there's so many more things that came out positive for me, and I'm glad to see that people are accepting each other, and you still see people that are afraid. I think some of the older people still have a hard time. I know several people that are hairdressers and things like that, and it was just hard for people to get out and accept that they're safe to get out and to do different things. And I just encourage anybody to just be positive about themselves, because what you think is what you get. So just be positive and take care of yourself and get out and do things and share your abilities and enjoy your life. So
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
about all I got for right now. Yay.
Thank you, Michael. You know, it made me think about 911. You know, we just recently hit 21 years. It was 21, right? 21 years. And it made me think that there was like, what, 3,000 people, I think, that died, and it affected the whole world. Do you realize how many people died with COVID? It was 96 million in the world. In the United States, 2 million. That's tremendous. So it's been 2.5 years, and you got to realize that the people that lost their loved ones are still, this is just new to them. They're just touching a part of the iceberg, realizing how much they really miss their loved ones. So we need to be sensitive to that. You know, we think it's over, we could take our mask off and everything's fine. Well, there's still people that are suffering, so I hope we could be aware of that. And thank you, Michael. I think that's great, is that we have to realize that we're there to help somebody and to be positive. So we're gonna take a little commercial right now, break, and then we'll be back and we'll finish up the conversation. And if you wanna call, please call in. Thank you.
Licensed independent insurance agent Michelle Amron specializes in Medicare health insurance plans for those under 65. Amron Insurance offers plans with most major insurance companies, names that you know and trust. From understanding and comparing all of your options to finding what plan is best for you, Michelle Amron will help you apply for low-income insurance assistance if you qualify. Contact Michelle today at 561-308-0293 to schedule a call, virtual meeting, or in person to answer any questions. Let Michelle Amron Insurance help you navigate through all of your available options. 561-308-0293.
If you're interested in joining Angel Kinsey's online Zumba class, Strength and Balance, or Zumba Gold, contact Angel at angelkinseys@gmail.com or call 954-224-0886.
Then you know it's working. Remember, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it.
Enjoy the show.
Welcome back. So I hope you've enjoyed this conversation that we've had about COVID, and I hope it really has opened up your eyes to think about the positive for what you could do for the future. I know that post-pandemic has changed so many things in our life, and for the good. There's so many businesses right now. There's so many new innovative businesses. I was watching today that they're doing all these drones that are delivering medication so that people don't even have to leave their house anymore. So a lot of the big companies are really doing some new technology that we never even thought was available, and they said that it's speeding up so fast because they know that they have to meet the needs of the people. So you know, some of the things that I got out of it is that I believe it's brought families closer together. A lot of parents had more time with their children. We're cooking a lot more in our house, even though restaurants are open and we're trying to you know, build those businesses back up. We have been cooking a lot more. One thing that I love to see was I was watching something about Italy that when it closed down, everything was completely locked down, but people just went out their windows and they started conversing and playing music, and that's how they entertain one another. So I think even though this is still affecting us in certain ways, I think we could take a lot of the positive and use it in our everyday life, in communicating with somebody, be there for someone, call someone up, ask them how they're doing if you know that they're in lockdown. And remember, the last show that we had, I had the 211 executive that runs that 211 phone number. I had a lot of calls after it. A lot of people don't even know about it. That number is an emergency number for anyone, any age, any income, any kind of help you need. Depression, suicide, any kind of medical needs you have. If you live alone and you're lonely, you need somebody to call you and talk to you, you need help in the house, 211 is an emergency number that you could get resources at your fingertips. So I encourage you to share that number with a friend. So I want to get back to our panel. If anybody has anything else to add to the show at this time? Sherry?
Well, I wanted to say that what I brought with me, what I think I'm more prepared for the unknown now, where before, you know, I have many more canned goods in the pantry, many more, just everything that you would need. I have tons of water in the house now. I just feel like I need to be more prepared now. And I just, I don't know, went away with more confidence. I think when you're in the house alone, you get to know yourself better. And I feel like I got to know myself better. I was always rushing around, just from my own personal experience, always rushing around, always working. And then I retired and I started doing, just being out of the house all the time, doing fun activities. And this, when I had to be alone, I just started contemplating, meditating and listening to nice music and just thinking about my life and how it could be better and how I could better myself. And I came away with a little more confidence in myself, I feel. And it did change me in a way, and for the better. So that was my story.
I think that's great, and I think we all see it in you. I know that Ugo always talks about him being happy, being by himself, and I never realized it because he could be hours just into his own music. You know, he's a Zumba instructor and just doing his own thing. And he's always said people are too dependent on one another for their happiness. They're always looking to somebody else for their happiness. And I do think, Sherry, you hit it right on the nose, and so did Mike, about you really, through this experience, we've I know myself that I went into my inner self to realize I've got to find something within me that's going to make me happy and content every day. Because you're faced to look in the mirror. You don't have anybody else there. You're all by yourself. So I think it's done good to a lot of people to just be happy being alone. I know Ugo can say something about that, right?
Sure. Well, I think so. To me, the thing about COVID doesn't change me a lot. I think so. I am a very lonely person, for what you said. I would love to be by myself. I think so. The COVID, I didn't mix anything. I think so. I was so happy, like everybody had to be in a home. I was so happy, like I see the ocean clean. Everything was so clean. I was so happy that I'm still now, like to cook in home in the most that I love. I hate to go outside and eat outside because immediately when I get in home, I get sick. I get tired. The next day I wake up with a lot of stomach ache. So that's it will be happen to people to realize you know what, that's it the only time you can know each other, to meet who really you are. I never was upset. I was so happy. Saying because I see something I never seen before, like a bird I never seen before. I see a rabbit. I never see a rabbit in Florida, where it's so in the hot, in the middle of the summer, and I see a rabbit. It was amazing, and then and then I see the bear, the beaver, for what I call
It's like an egret.
Yeah. So beautiful bird, a big bird like I never seen in my life, and so that was, I think so, the better that I
And cooking,
experience.
I mean, we cook a lot of fresh vegetables, and that really changed a lot because I'm one that loves to go out and eat. I work hard all day. I'm a hairdresser also, and I work in Boca, right local here. And after a long day on my feet, I don't feel like going home to cook. I never did. I would always go out and eat. But I guess since COVID, well, we do. We love to just stay home and cook and eat good fresh vegetables. It's really changed in a lot of good ways, and I hope it's changed positive for you. If it hasn't, please reach out, talk to somebody, get help. There's help out there. There's so many programs that could help you. And remember the 211, share it and call the station. We could help you. And I'm going to be back in 2 weeks on October 6th. I can't believe we're almost in the holidays, right? We're going to be so excited. I don't know what's coming the next 3 months, but we're excited. We're going to have great shows. If you have a business that you want to be on, let me know. If you'd like to be a sponsor to my show, you're welcome to call me. And you're welcome to come to my classes. Tomorrow I actually have my first live outdoor class in Pompano. If you're interested to attend, I have a Zumba Gold class that I'm doing from 1 to 2 at Healthy Partners in Pompano. I hope you could join me. And if not, I will see you in 2 weeks on October 6th back at Touched by Angel Live. And remember, I have a YouTube channel now, so you could go to Touched by Angel Live and you could go in and look at every show all the way back to January. I have 19 shows now. So thank you for your support and love, and stay positive. God bless. We'll see you soon. Thank you for watching Touched by Angel Live. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone you love. Have a wonderful day.